Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. Nothing wrong with a good side gig. A good side gig. Now, you know me, I'm all about business and starting a business and all of that, but also managing money. But let's be real. Some people have that good government job or good regular job, that good salary job, whatever. I'm not telling you to give it up. If it's paying your bills, or especially you're in a position where you have to have that job because of family or whatever, or you just like the job, okay, nothing wrong with that. But then there's nothing wrong with a good side gig, especially if you're just living paycheck to paycheck with your full-time gig. Or even if you're not, even if you're saving plenty of money with it. Whatever the circumstance, it's nothing wrong with a good side gig. Now, people who followed me a long time know, like, I talked about the time I was working for the government. I always like saying government instead of government. Working for the government. Had a part-time job working at a gym. And I still had my business. But I had the time. I wasn't married. I didn't have my children at the time. You know, it was just, man, I'm just a workaholic. And one of the things too, there was another young man that I met on that job, and he was just working there just to save up money for a motorcycle. There's nothing wrong with it. There's other stuff you can do with it. I've known people who've taken that side gig and they've either saved money, they invested money in other areas, because let me talk about that for a second, because a lot of people are really interested in investing. It's nothing wrong with working a side job just to get money, just to invest. You know, it could be in real estate funds, it could be in those type of stocks that pay on a regular basis. It could just be for your savings, it could be for your money market. Whatever it is, it's extra money. And when I say a good side gig, I mean something you like. One thing I would say, don't get a job that you don't like. That's the worst thing. That's the worst thing. You don't want to do that. You don't want to get that type of job. You want to get the type of job that you know that you can always do, that you can stay on. In fact, as my grandmother, rest her soul, would say, get a part-time job that is fun. Get a fun part-time job. Something that you can just go to, you know, and you work your 15 to 20 hours, 15 to 20 or whatever it is, but you're having fun on it. You're having fun. It's not even like work. It's like you getting paid to have fun. And it could be whatever. And look, one of the things too, it don't have to be that type of job that is similar to what you're doing regularly. I mean, you could be an accountant, an attorney, a doctor, nurse, whatever. Well, they doctors and nurses, they got put in a lot of time. But, you know, whatever the case, your full-time job. But your part-time job could be working at a little store. It could be working at a store. I've known some people who they were working at little retail stores, bookshops, clothing shops, but they had a full-time job doing something else. There's nothing wrong with that, you know? There's nothing wrong with that. You want to get something. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Because remember, your bottom line is you need to have more money. And it's also good, especially if you're in a situation where wherever you living paycheck to paycheck. One thing with a part-time gig, a good side gig, you can save money so you don't live paycheck to paycheck. So if there's something happening on your main job, you have something to fall back on. That's the important thing. That is the important thing. Like, don't look down on it. And if you run into somebody who try to say, well, you working on that job, it was like, well, look at them in the eye, smile, and say, well, it's my part-time gig. You know, I'm saving up for my second home, my investment property. I'm saving up to put into, buying some stock or to buy some income producing assets. And there have been many people who've done exactly that. They were able to get their extra stuff with their side gig. And then, actually, I'm gonna tell you what, I've talked to a few people who had a side gig. It made their main gig like a little bit easier to deal with. They didn't have to be in a situation where they were forced to stay on something. You know, they weren't just, because look, here's the thing. You don't want to be in a situation where you work and come home. You work and come home. Now, if you got kids or something, okay, that's different. That's different. You have a family, you have a spouse, you have to deal with, that's different. You need to spend time with them. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. But let's be real, there's a lot of people out here, especially younger people, they not married, they don't have children, you know, they could just do this part-time. You have the time, especially when you have the time. You might not have it in the future. You might want to build up everything now. Now, despite what they say about the economy being good and doing all that, you still want to be in a position where you have extra money. Even if it's just, it's just to save. You don't want to invest it, you just want to save it. It's better because you can build that up quickly. And then, like I said, you might decide you want to start a business. Okay, your money is right there. You know? You might have an emergency. Your money is right there. And I'm going to tell you something else too. Depending on how well you work on that side gig, they might want you full time. You might be able to negotiate something with them. You might not like your regular job. I mean, there's so many things that you can do with it. You know, things I'm not even mentioning. You know, shoot, you might be a parent or something and you need extra money to send your children to school. I mean, it is so many things, but there's nothing wrong with it. Don't look down on it. That's the main thing. Don't look down on it, because I'm gonna tell you now, it's always good to have. Like, even with what I do now, every now and then I think about, maybe a good side gig. But, the thing is, what I do now, I can always bring in extra money. And that's cool. But if I was working on a regular job, no matter how much I was making, I'd be like, a side gig. And that's the thing. And that's how you have to look at it. All right? That's how you have to look at it. A side gig. There's nothing wrong with it at all. You want to really think about it. You really want, really think about it. Don't just get it. I mean, hopefully you're not getting it just to supplement stuff. And sometimes that might be the case too. Whatever the reason, get a good one. Get one that you can have fun on. Get one that, you can just go and, you're doing your thing, okay? So that's the thing. That is the thing, all right? So that's all I have for right now. You know the deal. Let's go make that money.